How to take care of rose plant. Roses are some of the most popular and beautiful flowering shrubs grown. But starting a rose garden may seem daunting to new gardeners. However, growing roses for beginners doesn't have to be a stressful endeavor. In fact, with proper planting and care, anyone can become a successful rose gardener. Growing information on roses. When growing roses, it's important to choose a site receiving at least 6 hours of sun each day. Rose bushes must also be located in well-drained fertile soil. Plant dormant roses in early spring. Potted plants can be planted any time between spring and fall, but preferably spring. If you are planting bare root roses, pre-soak them in water for at least 24 hours prior to placing them in the ground. Both bare root and potted rose bushes need to be planted about 2 feet deep, with the hole large enough to accommodate the roots. Backfill the hole with soil, adding some well-rotted manure in with it, and water thoroughly. Then mound up additional soil around the base of the plant. How to take care of roses. Caring for rose bushes is important to their overall health and vigor, especially when it comes to watering. Roses require at least an inch of water weekly throughout their growing season, beginning in spring or following spring planting. While overhead watering is suitable before the onset of new growth, it is often better to water these plants at the soil line using soaker hoses or similar means. Rose bushes are very susceptible to fungal diseases, such as black spot and powdery mildew, especially when their foliage is kept too wet. Fertilizer for roses should also be applied in spring, following the label instructions carefully. However, with the addition of well-rotted manure each spring, this is usually adequate. Mulching your rose bush will help retain moisture and may also offer some winter protection. Pruning is another aspect to consider when caring for rose bushes. This often takes place once leaf buds appear in spring. Make cuts about 1/4 inch above the bud eyes and prune out any twiggy or unhealthy branches. Starting a rose garden and knowing how to take care of roses shouldn't be intimidating. In fact, it's easier than you might think. Just give them what they need, and before you know it, you'll be rewarded with beautiful blooms. Deadhead your blooms as soon as they start to fade. When the bloom starts to lose its color or become wilted, use scissors or pruning shears to remove it. Position your scissors on the stem just above the leaves. Make a 45-degree cut to remove the bloom. If you don't deadhead the roses, they produce seeds instead of more blossoms. Weed the soil to maintain a healthy plot. Using mulch will cut down on weed growth, but you may still see some weeds. Simply pull the weeds to remove them from the plot. As an alternative, dig out their root system with a hand shovel or spade. Make sure you remove all of the root pieces. Protect your plants by covering them with mulch during the winter. Clean your flower bed as winter approaches to reduce the risk of disease. Pile at least 4 inches of mulch around the bottom of the plant, after the first few frosts occur, but before the ground freezes. Using more mulch will provide added protection, so pile the mulch as high as you can. Roses are a lovely addition to your yard or home, but they can be tricky to keep healthy. You can care for outdoor roses by providing regular care. And pruning your roses before the new growing season. If you have indoor roses, make sure they get lots of sun and regular watering. Cut roses will stay fresh longer if you trim their stems and use a floral preservative.